Some stories hide their deepest secrets in details no one is paying attention to. I think this is especially true of Pinocchio, a book written some 150 years ago by the Italian author Carlo Collodi. Geppetto, the carpenter who carves Pinocchio from a piece of wood, lives in the simplest dwelling we can imagine. A small room with a little modest furniture. There are no other rooms, no neighbors, nothing else, just a small room. And now comes the strange part. In that room we find a stairway. It seems to be hanging somewhere in the room. Here is one way we might visualize it. Isn't it odd to have a stairway in such a small room with no clear beginning and no clear end? In last week's video, I mentioned that Collodi's Pinocchio, the original story, was published more than 150 years ago, half a century before the Disney movie was made. And the movie leaves out important details that we can find in the book. One of them is the stairway. And this is where Geppetto's room becomes significant, because the stairway is not really needed. It doesn't really make sense. And still, Collodi placed it there. The mystery begins to make sense if we read Pinocchio's story, not only as a children's story, and not as a story teaching moral lessons, but as a story of transformation. This wooden boy, I believe, is on a journey of consciousness. To better understand this, we need to look into the Bible, into the book of Genesis, where we find the story of Jacob. Jacob is famous for a dream he once had when he was in the desert. He dreamt of a ladder reaching from earth to heaven. It is usually called Jacob's ladder. But the word, used in the Hebrew text of the Bible, can also be translated as stairway. A stairway between earth and heaven. Here you can see a painting of Jacob's dream. The original is in the Prado in Madrid. It was painted by Giuseppe di Ribera. For years, I looked at this painting without realizing that the stairway was actually there. And then, one day, I saw it. You can have a look yourself. I'll put a link to a high-resolution version in the pinned comment. This stairway to heaven is one of the first signs in the story that Pinocchio's journey is about much more than just moral lessons. Something in Pinocchio is rising. He's on a journey upward. Please follow the channel if this makes you curious and you want to discover more. Next week, we'll look at another strange detail, the back wall in Geppetto's room. It is another one of those clues that Collodi placed in the story, waiting to be discovered. And once we start noticing them, Pinocchio's entire story begins to change.